Hello guys and happy Tuesday. So in today's video is really just a part 2 from Friday's video. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we basically did a video where we talked about our key learnings when it came to our wedding planning process and really just talking about things that we did well. But in this video as a part 2, we're going to be talking about things that we didn't do so well and things that we would maybe change. So if you haven't seen Friday's video already, definitely make sure you do check that out. I will link that in the description below for you. But without further ado, let's just bring up part 2 and see some of the mistakes that we actually made during the wedding process. Okay, so now I think we want to talk about things that didn't go so well, and I didn't really want to talk about this because it's actually really embarrassing. Like, I think if you guys watch my live, I think it was my last live that I did mention that there was something that went wrong during the wedding planning process and I didn't really want to talk about it, but you guys asked me to talk about it, so I thought, you know what, I do want to be transparent and just let you guys know that, again, we are not perfect people. We tend to make mistakes. Even me, personal finance YouTuber, I make mistakes as well. So the first thing I think that didn't go so well is my first wedding dress. So we planned to go to a wedding dress store last year and I just wanted to go and look at dresses because I just wanted to see what style I would like so that I can basically try and find a cheaper version. So that was initially why I wanted to go to that store. And so we went to that store and I tried on a few dresses, and there was one dress that looked really, really nice, and like my bridesmaids loved it, my family loved it, and especially my mum, she absolutely loved it, and she was like, yes, this is the dress, this is amazing. And I was like, yeah, it's a really nice dress. And they almost went, oh, so you saying yes to the dress? And I went, yeah, I like it. And then all of a sudden you just see everyone just like clapping and being like, yeah, she said yes to the dress. And I'm thinking, what on earth have I done? And it went so quick and I was almost like, I don't even know the cost of this dress. And I kind of went to like my family, I was like, how much is this dress? They've not actually told me. And my family were like, no, it's fine, don't worry, like it's your wedding dress, it's like one day. And I was literally just like, it doesn't work like that, I don't think. But I think for me, because I'm pretty much a people pleaser, which I think you probably already know, and it's something that I've kind of struggled with going forward, so it kind of meant that I wanted to please everyone and be like, okay, fine, it's great. But then at the end of the day, I didn't know the cost, and it was only until we sort of went downstairs and then went to pay for it where they told me the cost. Okay, so the cost was like 1,400 for the dress, which was way over our budget. Like, I'm talking like way over the budget. I'm pretty sure we budgeted less than half of that amount. And so I was kind of like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this. Whereas my family was like, no, it's fine. We're sure Yinka will understand. And I was kind of like, he's not gonna be happy. So yeah, I think the dress was like 1,400 and then the veil was like 100 and something. And so it came to like 1,500 in total. And I was like, I don't know if like, this is just way over budget. But again, because I'm such a people pleaser, I was kind of like, okay, I don't wanna now say no right there and then, which is what I should have done. I should have said, sorry, it's too expensive. I should have known about the price before. But I kind of just ended up buying it thinking, okay, I just need to buy it. And then as soon as I bought it, like, I just couldn't justify the cost for me. And I absolutely felt sick as soon as we left the store. And I was like, once I tell Yinka, he's not going to be happy. Because first of all, I hadn't even called him to say, by the way, I bought the dress and it's over budget. But second of all, I couldn't even justify that cost either. So it was almost kind of like my personality sort of overweighed the logic of it, which is why I always say with personal finance, like, it's 20% head knowledge and strategy, but it's 80% behavior. Because even though logically I knew that it was too expensive, in terms of my behavior, I was kind of like, oh well, I have to do it now because they've said I've bought the dress, basically. So how did you feel when that happened?
I think it's just as you said. It wasn't necessarily the price of it, because money is money. Money needs to be spent. But it's, as you said, you didn't call me before or let me know before. Just like, okay, cool, I've spent this amount on the dress, more than double what we budgeted. So yeah. I think that in itself was a bit surprising. I didn't expect it. So it was more of a surprise and a shock to me that you actually went ahead and did that. But I think if anything, the dress was beautiful. Because since she spent that amount and she was going to return it anyway, I said, look, I need to see what justifies 1,400. Yeah, it was a beautiful dress, but at the end of the day, you found a dress that you even liked even better.
Yeah, and as soon as I spent it, I was like, I just could not justify it. spending that amount. And I think even when we were speaking, I already knew I was going to return the dress. Like I just made up in my mind. I don't even think you even asked me. You didn't even say anything about returning the dress. But I literally,
I thought that was the dress. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
Alright, we got to rejig the budget.
Yeah, but I just wasn't happy, and I was like, no, I have to. So I actually ended up returning the dress literally the next day. I mean, my family wasn't particularly happy, but I was like, I just can't. Like, even if we rejig the budget, I just can't justify that. Or for one day, it's one day, guys. So I decided that I was going to find another dress, and we'll talk about things that we'll do differently in terms of what I did differently for my actual wedding dress that I wore, because I actually absolutely loved it. But yeah, I think that was definitely a learning curve for me. And if you're liking this video so far, then feel free to give us a thumbs up, as it really does help to support the channel. Plus,
it's free.
So what other things do you think maybe didn't go so well when it came to planning our wedding?
I think overestimating food and drink was a bit of a big one, because there was a lot left over afterwards, even after people had taken food, drinks, spirits. But yeah, there was a lot left over. I think we were supposed to have 270 guests. It's funny because my dad was always telling me, oh, don't worry about the numbers, 20 to 30% people won't turn up. Which was the case. But in terms of what we budgeted for the food, we told the caterer enough food for 200 people, but then my mum and her sisters are gonna also make food, so there was a lot of food to eat on the day, but also to take home afterwards. Drinks wise, I thought we didn't buy enough drinks, personally, in terms of soft drinks and stuff like that. In terms of soft drinks, I didn't think we bought enough. I thought we just about had enough for the amount of people coming, but there was a lot left over, man. We got we got a lot of drinks left in this house and in your mum's house and stuff, so we overspent a bit in that area. But
it's not that we overspent, because we actually ended up underspending in total.
Yes.
But we could have saved more money.
Exactly. But I think at the end of the day, it's better to have a bit more than be struggling to feed and
can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine people are still starving?
Exactly.
But yeah, it was good that we still had food for people to take, which was good. The other thing we probably didn't do so well is just kind of leaving. It's not probably like a finance thing, but I think we underestimated how much goes into wedding planning, particularly when it came to the little details. So we'd sort of sorted all the big things like the church, the reception, the cars, things like that. We'd sorted ages ago, like literally before the pandemic.
It's funny because people always ask us, oh, how's wedding planning going? We're like,
we're like, yeah, we've done everything.
But then like 2-3 weeks before, I was lying in bed and I was like, oh wait, how's this gonna work?
Yeah.
We're not even sure how this is working. So a lot of little things we left to the last few weeks to get sorted. One of them was like, who's gonna polish the cutlery, stuff like that. Who's gonna set that out on the tables, etc. So, and
we'd essentially have to pay for staff to do that because of the timings, because otherwise you'd either have family members not coming to the church service because they're helping to set up, or you would essentially have to pay for staff to do that. So we had taken into consideration some staff costs, but we hadn't maybe taken into consideration the extra hours that they may have to do, and then we would obviously have to pay for that as well. So I'm actually surprised we still ended up going under budget for that, which is good. And I think just in terms of the timing, and for me that's why I ended up having to take a break from YouTube, because we realized we ended up having so many things that we needed to plan for, so many little details, and obviously I was still doing my videos and I was working full time. I think it was just getting a bit too much. We needed to make sure that obviously the budget was still intact, that we already knew exactly how much we were spending for everything. I think it was just, it was a lot. So I think in hindsight, we probably would have started on the little details a bit sooner rather than 3 weeks before.
Yeah, but you live and you learn.
Yeah.
So people that are going to get married, they're going to watch this or even talk to us and we'll give our advice.
Yeah. So if you can learn from our mistakes, just remember the little details.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I just want to talk about maybe things that we would potentially do differently when it came to saving up for our wedding, budgeting for our wedding, and just planning it in general.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I could. I could start. So one thing I would do differently, which is actually something I did start doing, is when you are going bridal dress shopping, first of all, just be mindful in terms of who you pick. If you're going to come with your family members, just make sure you have a maybe mix of people that are maybe spenders but then are also savers as well, especially if you're like me where you're a bit of a people pleaser. That's going to help influence your decisions so that you can think about not only is the dress right for you, but you also need to think about the cost. The other thing I would say, which is something I did when I went wedding dress shopping the second time, is before I even wore any dress, I asked them what are the price ranges, how much exactly is it going to cost. The reason why I did that is because I did not want to end up having that mistake where I end up pulling on the dress and it's all lovely and everyone loves it, and then they tell me the cost and it's just too expensive. So before I literally just chose any dresses, I would literally go to every person and I'd say, how much is it going to cost? Because I had quite a strict budget. I think we'll talk about that in the wedding budget video where I talk about like everything in terms of all the costs. I'll talk about how much I actually ended up spending on my dress, because it wasn't 1400, definitely not, but I think that really would help you out, particularly if you are going bridal dress shopping and if you're looking for the one dress as well. Is there anything that you would do?
I wouldn't really change anything, to be totally honest with you, because overall we did a pretty good job. But what I would say is to consider two things. To consider getting a wedding planner.
Yes.
If you're not able to organise things well, or you just don't have enough time to organise a wedding, because it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic helps in terms of us working from home a lot of the time, so we could do more than what you could do if you were going to work on a regular basis.
Not that we did it during work, it was during commuting times where we had some extra time to do it.
Of course. But also, even a wedding coordinator. We ended up getting our wedding coordinator I think about a week or two before the actual date, but it made the day run so much more smoother. They liaised with the MCs, the caterers, all the vendors, just to make sure everything on the day ran smooth, rather than us having to do that whilst we're sitting on our high table or top table or whatever, having to make sure the day's running smooth. So just consider those two things. They are additional costs, but at the end of the day, it's one day, and your wedding, as well as you can organise it, something's going to go wrong. So if you can have people that you can rely on the day to make it a bit less stressful for you, then that'd be great.
Yeah, and I think we didn't mind because we had been able to cut costs in other areas. It was almost like, okay, we now have some extra money we can then put towards like the wedding coordinator, which I definitely really valued having, I think, because otherwise, we probably wouldn't have enjoyed the day as much.
Sure. And on that, in terms of the budget, I can be quite stingy with money, but I think...
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually secretly a spender, even though I'm a personal finance YouTuber.
Yeah. I'm
secretly a spender and you're secretly a saver.
Yeah, but I think even with the budget though, remember that it is a budget. This money is allocated for a reason. So if you use all of it, you use all of it. If you use less, then great, happy days. If not, the budget's there to be spent.
What you're trying to say is just be intentional with your spending, which is what I always say. So if I know that I've allocated a certain amount, then that means I'm free to spend it, rather than thinking, oh my gosh, no, even though it's been allocated, you feel like, oh no, we shouldn't spend it. Like the budget is there for you to spend your money, just spend it in the right way. So guys, if you did enjoy this video, then please do give us a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let us know in the comments, did you like our wedding planning? Did you like our video? Is there anything you maybe want any clarification on? I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Tuesday.
Adios.